So if you don't have something out there, you may be the greatest game in town, but if nobody sees it, you are hiding. And so video is a way to not hide.
My guest today, Keenya, is the CEO of If You Can Create It, a video marketing and consulting agency in Houston, Texas, where she strategically helps business owners develop video and funnel marketing strategies. In just 6 years, through vertical video marketing, Keenya has grown an audience of over 600,000 people and generated over $3 million in her business, and has helped thousands of business owners scale and market their business online. She recently helped one of her clients reach over $1 million in her business in 10 months on the TikTok platform. This is going to be an amazing conversation, and I can't wait for us to dive in. So welcome back to the Accidental CEO podcast. I'm your host, Nada Salvatore, and today I have Keenya Kelly with me, and I'm so excited for this conversation because we have been in the same mastermind together for a whole year in 2025, and for some reason, this never really happened when I wanted it to happen. We kept rescheduling, and we finally talking about, using video and using social media to really grow your business and just be strategic about it. So I have watched Keenya really grow her business. She moved to a new town a couple of years ago and, was able to grow a huge thing there, from scratch. So she knows how to do it. She's done it over and over again. She helps her clients do it. And it's something that we all struggle with. I know my clients hate social media a lot of times and fight it to death. And it was something that I didn't love it in the beginning, but very quickly understood that it's part of business strategy, it's part of my business. And what I tell my clients is if you're willing to do parts of your job that you don't like when you work for somebody else, why would you not do that for yourself? Right? Like you and your business deserve the same dedication you give if you're working for a corporate, company and they had you do one or two tasks they really hated, but the overall job was great. So do that for yourself too. So that's why we have Keenya here today. So welcome, Keenya.
Yay! I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So she's in Houston, Texas, where she was just telling me she loves how friendly people are and welcoming. And we want you to feel like that about social media too, and platforms and video. So we're going to have a conversation today to help you guys feel more comfortable and really understand why you just can't afford ignoring video anymore. So let's start there. What is the real reason that entrepreneurs need to be paying attention to this and why they can't afford to ignore it?
Yeah. So the number one reason is because we don't leave home without our phones. We don't go anywhere without our phones. We have our phones on our wrists with Apple Watches and stuff. If you leave your phone at home, you're turning around. Like, you can leave a lot of stuff at home, but not that phone. And because of that, we're always looking at something, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. We are always consuming content on social media. And the number one form of content on social media today is video. So the people and businesses that are not on video are hiding. So if you don't have something out there, you may be the greatest game in town, but if nobody sees it, you are hiding. And so video is a way to not hide.
Absolutely. I mean, what better convincing do you need that we all have that stuff on us all the time? Why shouldn't you be the content that people are consuming, right? So you build your business, your multi-million dollar business now on the back of video content. What do you think the biggest mindset shift that helped you show up consistently on camera?
Yeah. So when I first got started in 2016, I recognized that nobody knew me, that I had a corporate job my whole life, and that if I was going to build something, that I had to recognize that nobody knew me and that nobody was coming for me, that I had to build some type of table. I had to build an audience. And I didn't know what that looked like. I just knew that back then there was this app called Periscope where you could do live streaming. And I was watching people make hundreds and thousands of dollars on Periscope. And I was like, well, if I'm going to create something, this is one of the ways to do it, which is start by creating video content. And I had to understand that, I can be the best game in town, but if nobody knows it, it doesn't matter. And I also recognized that I was not the smartest person. Like I'm smart, but I'm not the smartest, right? I'm not the most highly trained person. But I was like, but if I'm the most consistent and the most visible, I will beat the smartest person, because if the smartest person isn't showing up and I'm showing up every day, I will beat the brakes off of them. And so when I started doing that, I was like, this is it. And so that became my claim to fame, that I don't need to be the greatest. I just need to be the most visible. And when I kept doing that and I pushed myself, I used to set alarms that would go off to remind me to post content. And it literally helped me to do what I do today.
I mean, that's amazing how a simple thing like just being in front of people make you the go-to person. Like at the end of the day, a lot of times is whoever we remember the name of is who we go to. Like this, you're top of mind, right? You're gonna be on the top choices. So visibility is so, so important. And I think one of the things that people ignore or maybe neglect is the importance of consistency. So let's talk about that a little bit. What is it that you see now? Because you started a little while ago. So my two questions are for you, in regards to consistency. Do you feel like is it different now for people who started a long time ago than if you're going to start now? And then where does consistency play into that?
Yeah. So the truth is, it doesn't matter how long you've been going, right? You could be Amy Porterfield. And if Amy stops posting and somebody else starts posting and is teaching courses and all that type of stuff, they will forget that she exists. You literally can get started right now and have a boom of success. Why? Because you constantly have people who are coming on a contact with platforms, and the platforms are constantly pushing out content of people that you should be interested in. So they're not necessarily gauging it based upon, oh, you have 1 million followers, you have 100,000 followers, let me show all your content. They are basing it on what is the audience's behavior. If you log on to TikTok today or whatever, and you're engaging with podcast content, and they happen to show them your podcast content, then the platform says, ooh, they like her content, I'm going to show her more of her content. Doesn't matter if you have 200 followers or whatever. It's about who is putting out the content that is connecting with people, resonating with people the fastest, the most consistent. That's the person that's winning. Like I've had like massive following on TikTok for the longest time, but I stopped being as consistent. And so I watched all these kids come on there and just like explode. And I'm like, okay, all I have to do is get back with my consistent posting and it'll explode again. But we get the recognition of like, you didn't miss anything. Like, yeah, you may not have the largest following today, but you still can get started today and blow up because the algorithm is your favor. The algorithm says, I want to show your content to the people who will watch it. And it's just about getting started.
What does that consistency look like? Well, did you find like a sweet spot, or what do you think help anybody out there grow?
Yeah. So anytime we work with a lot of our clients, one of the first we're getting our clients to do is to just post one video a week, because the average business owner is busy. The last thing that they want to be doing is posting multiple times a day on social media when they don't know if it's going to work for them. So we first teach them how to create great content, but then how to post a piece of content once a week. Once they start seeing some type of traction, it automatically makes them want to post more. Then we'll move into 2 a week and then once a day. But it's over time that we get them there to once a day. And most people are having an incredible amount of success with one video a day. But from the beginning, we teach them to outsource it, right? Like, yeah, you're going to be the one in the content, but from the first day, outsource it to somebody else, because you're going to be one day you're going to go viral and you're not going to be able to handle it. But if you prepare yourself in advance of somebody else managing it for you, you already have the right system, because something's going to blow up at some point in time. It could be the first video, it could be the 10th video. But if you're already putting a plan in place for your social media manager, even if that person is super part time, then you're creating a system from the beginning.
And I think that's so smart to like start with something that is not overwhelming for most people, which is once a week, right? 'Cause usually when you ask about recommendations and consistency, you hear anything from like at least 3 times a week to like every day, like right off the bat. And that I feel like turns a lot of people off to the idea of even doing it. And you guys just do it in a very smart way where you start with what is doable and manageable. And then, like you said, people actually want to do more once they feel that there is some kind of return in there. But I feel like there's not only just that, but like knowing what to post, right? Because, and I've been to different platforms for a long time now, and I've done like the posting of high volume, but that doesn't necessarily bring you, the clients and the recognition and the followers and et cetera. So, how do you go about making sure that the content is smart?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things to know about content is the content is good based on not based on us. It's based on the viewer, right? So we have to find out, what does our audience want to see, right? So who is our direct competitors? Maybe 100% or just slightly. and who's crushing it with their content in your topics or in your niche. Once you see the content that is crushing the most and that has the most engagement, I recommend people to go into the comment section and go look and see what are people saying? Why are they engaging with this? And look at a lot of that person's content, because what it's going to do is going to start showing you this is what your audience is looking for. So even though you may think that they want to experience ABC, if you're seeing that X, Y, and Z in your same niche is what your audience is responding to, then it starts to train you on, oh, this is the content I should be creating. Because like a doctor talks in doctor speech, but a doctor has to talk in our speech, right? So there's a lady named Dr. Mary Claire Haber. She's on perimenopause and menopause, and she can talk all her doctor speech all day long, but nobody's going to watch her content. But because she started teaching about perimenopause and menopause in our context, she is like the biggest menopause specialist on the planet, because her words were matching us and what we're thinking and what we're feeling and the questions that we're asking. So you've got to know, what is your audience asking? Like, what are the questions they ask you all the time? That is what your content needs to be about.
I love that. I mean, really putting in perspective, like that is not about us; it's about our client. I love that. Because a lot of people don't like to talk about themselves, which is great because that's not what you need to be talking about, anyways. And that's what people think they need to be talking about. So I love that you kind of put that into perspective for us. So what does most people get wrong about like going viral or building a following with video? Is there something that business owners think that they maybe should be doing and they shouldn't, or the other way around? What is that you usually advise people to do?
Yeah. So one of the things is a couple of things, but one is that people are just trying to take long form repurposed content and then put it out there on social media, especially when it comes to short form content. Like right now, you and I were doing our podcast together, right? And we are talking in long form. So we're talking for long to have a conversation. But short form video is short form. It's like, here's a topic and you're honing in on that topic. And a lot of times people are just taking Zoom recordings or long form videos, plugging it into a tool, and then posting it out on social media and hoping that it would land. But they're forgetting that the average person's attention span is really, really, really short. And so you literally have 2 seconds to get somebody's attention. And typically in long form content, we're not talking in hooks. We're not talking in 2 second, 3 second sound bites that get a person's attention. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I think people are doing wrong is that they're not like really honing in on the power of what is happening with short form video. That short form video isn't that you have to be pointing or dancing or doing anything goofy. You can if you want to, but it's really about the fact that you're trying to sell this high ticket program. Well, what are all the issues that your audience is dealing with, right? They got 10,000. Okay, well, don't talk about all of them in one video. Take one problem that your audience is having and call it out in their language and give them some tips or a solution. Because what's going to happen is that once somebody gets a win from one short piece of content, or even if they hear a win, they're like, now they're hooked. They want to watch another video and another video and another video. Next thing you know, they're ready to opt in. And now they're going through your funnel to buy. And so short form for me, it's like ads, right? Like with paid ads, you typically don't use paid ads to just drive it to your main product. You're typically using paid ads to drive it to something that's going through the funnel. And short form video is the same thing, except it's organic. Short form video is the attraction to you to then drive them to ultimately through your funnel or what have you. And I just don't think that business owners are really seeing the fact that this is like a commercial. It's like game time. Every time you post a short form video, this is like D-Day. Like if you make this a thing, it's like it could change everything.
I love that. That's so good. Really looking at short form content as a format advertising for your business. And how can you start that curiosity, and how do you keep people coming back to you and really wanting to consume maybe a more long form content, or, buy something that you're offering? That's so, so smart. This episode is brought to you by my one-on-one Freedom First Leadership Coaching. This is for founders who are still the glue in their company and want to become the calm, precise CEO. Together, we will redesign your role, install clean decision rights, and delegate outcomes with a clear definition of done. You'll leave with a weekly operating cadence, a 90-day plan, and the confidence to scale without being on call to everything. If you want high standards at a human pace, apply now at accidentalceo.co/coaching. That's accidentalceo.co/coaching. Talk to me a little bit about what kind of conversation do you have, or what kind of strategies do you have for the people that say, oh, video is not for me. I hate being on camera. Because I know you hear that a lot. I hear that a lot from my clients, and it's definitely something we have to work through. So tell me, what do you do with that client?
Yeah, so it really depends upon what the business is. So if the business is where a person is a coach, you've got to be on video. Because a person, like if you're selling a physical product, you don't have to be on video. It could be anybody, it could be your hands, it could be your back or whatever. But if you are physically the person that people are trying to trust and buy into, you have got to be the one that is on video because they are buying from you. But I understand the subconsciousness of getting on camera, because all of us have our things about ourselves that we may not think is the greatest, whether it's our skin, it's our nose, it's our teeth, our lip, whatever. Like for me, it was the sound of my voice and it was how big my forehead is, right? I kept saying to myself, you cannot change the sound of your voice and the size of your forehead. It just is what it is. Okay. And so you have got to come to terms with who you are and accept that. And it wasn't easy. It was hard, to recognize that, like, okay, like I'm going to put myself on camera. I don't like how I sound and people could judge me. But I kept saying to myself, I got two choices. I can either stay where I am and not do video and stay at my full time job, or I can get over my self consciousness, self esteem issues and create and post anyway. And eventually, I like looking at myself on camera. It's like I feel my forehead is not that big, but I had to go through a process of acceptance of my own self before I put myself out there. And I think that a lot of people don't really evaluate why they don't like being on video and to really come to terms with it. It's a self-esteem issue. And then we go through like this like self-love journey to put ourselves out there. But if we did, we wouldn't just be on video. We would just be leading a happier life with ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we're leaving our houses all the time to go meet with clients and do stuff. So why not reach more people through video? It's such a overwhelming thing when people are so focused on their appearance and they're losing the opportunity to grow their business and make money. It's just, it's time to get over people. Let's get over ourselves. People don't pay that much attention to us as much as we think they do. If we're really honest.
Yeah, we think that they do, but they really don't. They're so consumed with themselves, they ain't thinking about us, even though we think they are.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes, and we are all very self-centered creatures, and the same way you're so worried about yourself, that's where everybody else is thinking. So remember that, like, they're not overanalyzing. And I think the other thing that people think about is that they always have to be 100% put together with hair and makeup done, especially women, and everything in place. And that's not the case. Like, people want to relate to you, and sometimes that means you're gonna show up in a video, where how you just came back from a workout and you're a little sweaty and you're in workout clothes, and that's just relatable content, and people have to understand that.
I have filmed myself in so many different facets. Me in my bonnet, me getting dressed, me like at the gym. I've done all the different things, but I had to accept everything and then I was able to put all this stuff out there like just raw but it wasn't like overnight that I did it. But now it's like I will gladly just post from the bed with a bonnet on. Like I post one time with mouth tape on. I was like, "Yep, going to bed is my mouth tape." But I got to the point where I'm just like, "It's fine. This is who I am."
Yeah, and it's about, like you said, your body's not going to change, so you're either going to be who you are the way it is, or you're going to be who you are with more money. So choose it. Right. You have helped some clients go from 0 to 7 figures using video. What made the biggest difference for those wins?
hmm So one of my clients, Mercedes, the biggest thing for her was that she didn't see the value in showing up consistently for her business, but she also didn't see where like everything she had learned about courses and funnels, she wasn't connecting the dots that video was going to be the catalyst to reach the audience that she was looking for, right? And she didn't value the ability to use creativity. So she has a mystery shopping business where she teaches women how to become mystery shoppers. And they go through her course and then in her membership. And she just wasn't really taking it seriously. But she came into like, I have a 3-day challenge. She joined the challenge and we taught her how to create very simple video. And she created this video and target of her being a spy because mystery shoppers are technically spies. And super easy video, posted the video. In 7 days, she made $20,000. Right? She did it again, made $20,000 in 24 hours. And it keeps happening over and over again. But she started to realize, oh, my audience loves creativity. My audience loves me just showcasing me doing spy shopping things. I'm going to do more of that. And the more she did it, the more her people were like, oh my God. But she started to see, oh, marketing doesn't have to be formal. I can do it in this informal way. And she does formal videos, she does informal videos, and both of them work. She just gave herself permission to not use 2016 strategies, but to use things that are happening in 2025 or 2026.
That's very good. Yeah, I mean, just getting out there and start trying and see what works for your audience. I love that.
It's just giving you opportunity for creativity because like marketing is not the way that it used to be. There's so many different ways to market, right? So we all saw Wendy's when Wendy's went like unhinged with their marketing, and then Duolingo has gone unhinged, and then some of them are just doing these really creative things. And then we saw Super Bowl 2025, the creativity that people were using, but they gave themselves permission to not just do the old things, and it's working. It's not off brand. It's not going to get you canceled, but it's just not the old way of doing things, but you're giving yourself this opportunity to try something different.
You talked about visibility being non-negotiable. What is the connection there between showing up online and actually scaling a sustainable business? Help us understand in the practical way cuz people hear about it all the time. Oh, you show up, you can make more money or you can scale your business. What does that actually look like?
Yeah. So you definitely have to have the system first. I do tell people post content no matter what while you're building on the back end, but you do want to be building that back end, right? And so like for I mean what I mean by that is that having your funnel, whether it's a free opt-in for people to go to or for them to buy to, and then it takes them through the email system where there's a nurture campaign, upsell campaign, and having all that stuff already ready for you, right? And having your system set up in a way where if let's just say a video goes viral, that people are able to take an action with you without you, right? So like Mercedes, when she made the $20,000 in 7 days and then 24 hours, she didn't have to do anything because she had her funnel set up in her bio where they could opt into a webinar, purchase the thing, and then they were just able to just go through and do exactly what she wanted them to do. Like I had a client who got I think it's like 2 million views in 24 hours. She gained 50,000 followers in 24 hours, but she got 20,000 people join her email list in 24 hours. And that was because she had a system set up. So she didn't know which video was going to hit. But when it did, she didn't have to do anything because she already had the system and the funnel set up. Because, like, it's not if you're going to go viral, it's going to happen. You don't know when, but it's going to happen. Like, I'm going viral right now on Facebook and 30,000 followers, like overnight. Right. But it's like, I don't have to do anything because it's already set up. I just get to celebrate, and engage back with people.
I love how you explain that because I think a lot of people think about, oh, it's like the way I make money in social media is like through brand deals and like I don't want to be an influencer and understanding what does actually mean to make money by using video content and social media. It's way more about building sustainable systems that support your business and that when you do bring those people in and having a place to bring them in. So you are no longer just working on borrowed platforms, right? You're actually bringing them into your turf and then, being able to nurture that lead and then eventually sell it to them. So I think people don't connect those dots often enough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want all the money. I'll make money from influencer deals, but I want to make money without doing that. I want to make consistent money even if I don't do that?
Absolutely. And not everybody wants to be working with that. So I feel like it's important for people to understand what does it mean to actually make money with, video content and social media. How did you end up in this world of, entrepreneurship and having your own business and choosing this to be your, environment?
Yeah, so I actually when I was in college, I got recruited into network marketing. It was a company called Prepaid Legal, and that opened me up to the world of entrepreneurship. Like I didn't realize that people could make $100,000 a month, $1 million a month. I was so young, like what is going on? And so it like in the middle of my like growing stage of like being in college, I started to realize that there was more that could happen out there. There were people making a significant amount of money. And, but it wasn't until I think it was 2007, I had gotten into the like trade shows, having a trade show, like helping people with their curly hair and stuff. And Instagram came out, and I was like, I didn't understand what was happening, but we were marketing this hair show I was doing on Instagram and on YouTube. And it started to go, oh, this is something interesting. But 2016, when I got on Periscope and was doing live streaming, that's when people were doing this thing called content creation, but they weren't really calling it content creation. We just knew people were creating videos. And so I was creating videos I had a design agency. But when 2020 came around, I was just kind of praying for a creative strategy for my business. And I had heard God tell me to get on TikTok. And I was like, it was kind of a weird thing to hear God say. But I was like, if I heard wrong, then I just heard wrong. But if I heard right, then there's something happening. And in a matter of 6 months, my visibility went from 50% to like 1,000%. And it just changed everything overnight. And I decided that I didn't want to focus on design anymore. I just wanted to teach people video. And I just been teaching video ever since.
That's amazing. What a great story. For those people that you maybe worked with or reach out to you and they feel like they have been like consistent, they have been posting, they're just like, man, I'm stuck. I'm getting the low 100 views and like nothing is really working for me. What are usually the things that you see that people are doing wrong the most? Maybe the top one or two things.
Yeah. So the top thing is happening is that your content isn't connecting with people within the first 2 seconds. So they're on all platforms in the back end of your analytics, it's going to tell you what happened in the first 2 seconds. Because most people, when they log onto the platform, they give you about 1, maybe 2 seconds before they scroll away. So if you're not doing these, we call them hooks. If you're not doing these three things in the beginning of your video, then people are going to scroll. One is the text on screen. So the moment that they land on you, some text should be captivating their attention that makes them curious and makes them want to watch the video, because most content is muted. When you go on your platform, it's on mute. And so something makes you click on unmute. So if the text on screen isn't doing that, then they're going to scroll. The second thing is the visual. What are they visually seeing the moment that they land on your content, right? So if you wonder why people are always doing these unique things at the beginning of a video, it is because they're trying to get your attention, right? And then the third thing is the audio hook. That the audio is the least because most videos are muted. But if you have audio turned on, whatever's happening within the first 2 seconds is what's going to capture your attention. So that's the first biggest thing, is that you've got to get people's attention within the first 2 seconds. But then the second thing is that you've got to keep people to watch the entire video, because all algorithms are judging how many people watch the video all the way through, how many people actually engaged with the content. So if your video is 3 minutes long, but it should have been 1 minute, you're messing up your own view and your watch time because you're talking too long, right? Every video doesn't have to be 7 seconds, but if it needs to be a minute long, make it a minute. But if it needs to be 35 seconds, make it 35 seconds, because the more you can get people to watch the most of your video, then it's sending signals to the algorithm to share this with more people, because they send it to the right audience. The audience is engaging with it. So now the algorithm is going to send it to more people. So you got to like be very intentional with exactly what you're doing in the video from start to finish, and not just film anything, because it's not going to perform, because you're dealing with humans who logged on to be entertained, right? So they're like, they want to be entertained. They don't want to be educated. And we're trying to educate them. So if we're going to do that, we've got to capture their attention.
I love that. So really paying attention to all the components of a good, video that's going to hook you from the beginning, keep you watching, and make sure that you want to come back for more. All right. So if somebody's fired up after this, listening to this episode, and they're ready to go and work with you, how can they get to you?
Yes, you guys, you can find me on all social medias under my name, KeenyaKelly, and my website is KeenyaKelly.com. You can send me a DM on any platform or my website.
And we're going to make sure we have it on the show notes for you guys. I want to make sure that you finally get over that fear of working with video content, because it is so helpful to grow your business, and it's just something we should all be tapping into. So thank you so much, Keenya, for sharing all your expertise with our audience.
Thank you for having me. Woo-hoo.
I will see you guys next week in another episode of the Accidental CEO podcast. Bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Accidental CEO podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us in the world where creativity and business strategy collide. I am Nada Salvatore, thrilled to have shared this time with you. Remember, Every episode is a step closer to mastering the art of being an accidental CEO. So don't miss out. Hit subscribe, drop us a sweet review, and spread the word to your creative tribe. Your next big breakthrough could be just one episode away. Join us next time for more insights, laughs, and actionable tips. Keep pushing boundaries, dreaming big, and embracing the beautiful chaos of entrepreneurship. Here's to make magic happen in your business and beyond.